Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the last, you feel me? The last astrology freebie that goes underneath the new moon, full moon. But I'm not gonna lie to you all, eclipses have piqued my interest. Alright, you all, please remember to do your 3 deep cleansing breaths in from your nose and slowly out your mouth. To be open, to be aware, and to be consciously moving for this eclipse season. All right, you all. First things first, let's take a moment to acknowledge our mind, the wonderful facet that it is, the engine that it is, the computer that it is, and let's give grace to that. Let's give grace to all the times that we are computing and understanding and critically thinking. Let's also give grace to our body, and we're going to call that the earth right now, okay? And to better understand our body, the earth, how can we be more open? I want us to think about that. How can we be more open to our awareness about the earth, how it communicates to us? That's through its weather, through its seasons, through what's happening in its changes. What's happening in your environment? When was the last time that you checked in within your environment? How does your environment speak? You feel me? Do you have stores in your environment? What type of resources do you have in your environment? Do you have a handy shop? Do you have mechanics in your environment? What is an environment? What is in your environment? Now's the time to be thinking about me and my community. They usually start that off in like preschool, first grade. Let's go back to that. What type of recreational activities do you have? Do you have bikes, like accessible bikes? Do you have buses that are timed, that are there, that are always, open and warm? Are the bus stations warmed? Do you have places to sit down? What type of parks do you have? What is the maintenance and upkeep of that park? What about how often do you see the ice cream people? What type of food environments do you have in the community? My mother would say, see a need, feel a need. But how are we even aware of the need or even aware of what's going on? And I want us to be able to give conscious recognition to our heart and the constant growing facet of our mind and our heart, and the 2 different ways of thinking, the many different ways of thinking. Let's be open to that, the many different ways of thinking. All right, you all, so hold time. Please come on over to the Playful platform of Patreon, okay? The notes, this walkthrough verbally, the written notes is going to be all on Patreon. The Playful platform of Patreon. You know, the link to Patreon is in the description box below, but also Patreon link is in the description box below. If you would love to send a love offering, a love tip, you feel me? The Linktree link to Cash App is in the description box below. It's also to the Amazon wish list. That's also in the description box. And the Linktree link in the description box below. Okay? You know, always remember to send and share this message out with who? Send and share this message out with who? With the people, the groups, and organizations who allow you to continue growing and blossoming into the person that you're destined to be, right? Please send it and share it out with those groups, those organizations, and those people who you allow to continue growing and blossoming to the person that they are destined to be, the individual. The individual. I like that word, the individual. Oh yeah, that's a person. No, that's an individual right there. Let's see what it is and let's define it. Let's it define itself. All right, you all. All right, you all. All right, you all. All right, so we're gonna start off on the chart, and where we're gonna start off? Correct answers only, of course. I can't hear what you're saying. Can you speak just a little louder? I just can't hear what you're saying, babe. What are you saying? Okay, good job. Excellent. I'm so proud of you. Yes, we're looking at the ascendant. Pop quiz. Why are we looking at the ascendant? Okay, if you said something along the lines of like, this is the perspective we're looking through, this is probably what's going on in the environment. This is the glasses, the prescription that we're looking through. So to be aware, we have to be aware, right? I'm so proud of you. You are learning so much. You are such a wonderful student. All right, you all. So whole time we're looking at the ascendant. And y'all know what I did? I was talking on a new moon chart, like, I found it. I don't know what the chart is. I had another chart. And y'all, I got this chart and I don't have the solar eclipse chart. So you feel me? Like, let's do it. You feel me? Let's use our resources wisely, right? All right, so first things first, second things second, I'm gonna show y'all what the ascendant is. I kind of already highlighted it so we can already be aware. We're gonna talk a little bit about the ascendant, a little bit about what's around the ascendant, because I want us to be aware. We're gonna talk about some other things. And then yeah, let's use it to our benefit, right? Okay, so first things first, you're like, okay, so what is a solar eclipse? So a solar eclipse is the alignment of the moon, the earth, and the sun. So the moon, we're going to say, is just the the unconscious facet of you, okay? We can say your emotional depth, your emotional understanding, your connection to yourself, all of that wonderful umbrella, boom. And then we're going to say earth. Earth is now just the, like, this is our marketplace. This is where we grow our understanding. But this is also a perspective, right? So this is our understanding of this layer with the sun. All right, now when you all think about the sun, yes, it could be hot. Yes, it could be big. Yes, you can say flares. But also the sun is like our consciousness. So we see that we have two facets that are not really different, but not also really like the same. They're two facets, okay? These both motives are now working, or more so in alignment with our moon, with our earth, and with our sun. With the earth, my goodness. I'm talking about the moon and the sun, the two facets, okay? So when they're in alignment with the earth and the sun, like lined up, it's more so allowing like clarity, right? Right. But also with this alignment, when things are aligned, it gives chance for other things to see what needs to be done, right? It allows room for other things to happen, right? So we can say this burst of energy. So here, strongly support for us to not try to do any work, but to more so think about reflecting. Reflecting would be something that would be very useful for this solar eclipse. Reflecting. That could be, water gazing. That can be reflecting, looking at yourself and how mature you have gone. This is like unconscious and conscious meet. So this is also like maybe a little portal of you getting to know your ancestral or your lineage a little better, or like the awareness of the maturity or the ideal of maturity or authority figure. And now we're able to see situations that we previously weren't able to see. Okay. So with this, it's kind of giving us like a magnifying glass. Okay. All right, so we're going to kind of leave it at that. But I wanted to talk about the eclipse, and then I also wanted to talk about how part of fortune is on the ascendant. And I think this is a very wonderful time to do reflection. That's why the solar eclipse is a wonderful time to do reflection. Think about how far you have came from a child to an adult. What was your perspective life of your parents, of childhood, of being an adult? You feel me? Other than, you feel me? I can do what I want. I get to hang out with my friends, but girl, you really gotta pay bills. You gotta wake up early in the morning. You gotta be on time for work. You feel me? It's so many other things. It's so many other things. And now it's just like, wow. Not how silly of me, but like, wow. Wow, how experiences and exposure really changes a person, right? What a difference a day makes in general. But with that in general, let's talk about the solar eclipse and the part of fortune. So I think I genuinely talked a little bit about the part of fortune in the new moon reading. But whole time, the part of fortune is just genuinely when your sun, moon, and ascendant all like they're in harmonious flow. So that is the harmonious flow where that'd be most harmony for us, right? So since we know that this is a sense that'd be most harmony for us, this is probably an area we need to consciously grow awareness of so we can use it to our benefit. More so like a, rejuvenation process of ourselves, or more so just re-tapping into ourselves, or more so just to think about how far we really have came, you feel me? That'd be our points of like, wow, like your own secret weapon type thing. But because of harmony. So to even understand harmony, one has to understand devotion. So maybe through this time process, or maybe through this time period, or maybe from this time period, if we've already been through this situation, because we really haven't talked about the chart yet, this would be a really good time of having more clarity regarding one's current stage, where one is in one life, familial stages, familial fulfillments, and how the overlapping process, you feel me? It's like a constant Venn diagram. Like, oh yeah, let's get this bread. It's this meme, and it's like, let's get this bread, and it says robbers, and it was like birds, and it was like people went to a bakery. So it was like all these many different perspectives, you feel me? But who's looking at the story, okay? So that could be like someone all wants to be a doctor, but maybe you're a you feel me, a pediatrician, doctor. Maybe somebody's a vet. Maybe somebody went to dentistry. So you feel me? So it's many different layers, or maybe spheres of a perspective of the iceberg. We can only be touching the top, but maybe there's this whole other scenario story. This also kind of gives me that sense of life, and people be like, oh yeah, so and so was so very mean. I just, I don't really talk to them like that. And then you find out like, oh, they've been through all this other situation. It's like, wow, I totally understand now that that's really just because of this, and because of survival, this is this way. But this is genuinely how they act, and it's just like, wow. I like that. I like that even about yourself, because it can kind of lead to hypocritical, of course, be a hypocrite. But it can also lead to like growing such fulfillment and such understanding, compassion for oneself, but also for your lineage, to, you feel me, to take a little bit of the stress off. But whole time we haven't even read the chart, and it's 8 minutes. All right, y'all. So whole time the ascendant. Let's talk about it. Okay, cool. It's right there. Snap dab in the middle. Okay, it's the ascendant conjunct part of fortune conjunct Cupid. So we'll talk about that momentarily, but right now the ascendant 14 degree. And I want to call this video perceiving. That'll be parentheses. Communicating values. So communicating values. Let's think about Sagittarius 14. Sagittarius 14, Sagittarius, we all know, is just the conscious growth of freedom. So let's think about a club, okay? It's a club. It's very clubby. So with Sagittarius, we need to understand that it's a sense of prioritizing, right? What is important, what is most valued. Diamonds, of course. Clubs and diamonds. And then we can do playing cards, but let's not do that right now. But this is very clubby. This goes back to the yearly reading. So make sure you all come on the Instagram, The Memory Astrologer, to review the yearly reading as well. It's on Patreon. The whole time it's perceiving, communicating values. 14 is a sense of vocalizing. So we need to be very mindful about how we're vocalizing ourselves. Also, our desires for freedom. When we are vocalizing desires for freedom, sometimes it could be just communicating your own values. Oh, what you like, what you want, what you don't like. What do you want to do long term? What are your hobbies? But this, it also kind of gives you a sense of like revisiting personal histories. And personal histories could be your own. You feel me? Coming to contact with your own values and how they have shaped you. That could be limiting values. That could be traditions very impact you, and you building off of traditions. So I give you a wonderful example. Say for instance, I don't know, all my family, I don't know, all my family is locked, right? So with this, I know that I'm gonna want to keep up the lock because that's my traditions, right? So with this understanding, I can be like, oh wait, maybe I just want my kids to be natural and they can, wear their afro out and I can braid and do all these many faceted styles. So it's just like learning about personal histories, but also learning about your own histories to be able to mold the two. So that's really the long term and short term of Sagittarius 12. 14. So with this, we need to also just be very, very, very mindful about, once again, our own vitality, knowing what we have, what we don't have, our energy levels. Also, our being mindful about our own ego, our conscious element. What are we really thinking or seeing about ourselves? How do we really see ourselves? This is a really good moment to see yourselves, or maybe practicing moments of seeing yourselves. That may be looking at yourself in the mirror. That may look like looking at yourself in a full body mirror and just speaking like, wow, when was the last time I made myself feel good? When was the last time I communicated something I achieved? Okay. So I want us to be very mindful about our money, our relationships to money. Also, I have a slight question because Sagittarius 14, when you communicate your freedom, how do people react? People, I'm thinking more so like family. How does family react? When you say, oh, this is what I want to do, how do people react? Also, what's the parent relationship like? You as a child, how was your parent relationship? And then you as an adult, or whatever age you are right now, how is your parent relationship? Well, what did you like and what did you not like? What was your takeaway overall about your childhood experience? How did your parents or any caregivers or guardians communicate with you? And how do you communicate with yourself? How do you communicate if you have any children with your children because of what you were taught, how you communicated with, how they assisted you? This also makes you think about, as the continuous growing version of yourself, so maybe teenage years, how did you express yourselves? What type of music did you like? What were your values? How did your values change from childhood to teenhood to, pre-adulthood to adulthood? What are the building blocks that you're seeing? I like this a lot. I like this a lot because it really speaks about how a lot of times the wisdom that we're desiring has already previously been here, and it's more so just seeing things from a different perspective. I like this a lot. Yeah. Alright. Alright, let's silently talk about this. Silently, then we're gonna move on to the who rules Sagittarius. So there is a silent parental wound, and it's more so the wound of the parent not seeing or vocalizing or validating or reassuring. reassuring our identity, how we expressed ourselves. And it's a moon, it's giving moon square Pluto for I mean it is a moon square Pluto in here, but this Ixion conjunct foliage, you feel me, it's giving a moon square Pluto, and I want us to eat this. I want us to eat this. I want us to eat this most definitely and remold it to our benefit. I want us to eat this because we can eat this. It's going to take practice. It's going to take patience. It's going to take patience. It's going to take patience. It's going to take devotion to it's not transferring, but into incorporating that mindset, to review and take awareness of one's own habits within the family, within the foundations, within connections, within security, with the definitions of security, with the continuous growths on the identity. It's going to take continuous effort, due diligence, you feel me, to build efficacy of the individual, to build common sense of the individual. But that means we kind of losing recipes, you feel me? We're losing receipts right here. Right here. This is the losing of receipts if we're not aware of it. And I'm going to tell you why we're going through this, so we can be aware of it, so we can finesse it to our benefit. So whole time is giving reactional due to reactions. And it's more so either like we had either parents who were like really hand over hand, parents or guardians who were really like very protective, or parents or guardians who were very like, not like hands free, but more so allowing to learn on their own. And if we mold that awareness of what children need, what did you learn from that experience? What did you learn from this experience? And what does a child need? If we finesse it to that benefit, I promise you, we can use that moon square Pluto to our benefit. A square only says to me, hey, it's a little rough, my girl, but once you understand this lesson, you can use it continuously to your benefit because it repeats, because it's a square. It's saying, ooh, it's a little fix. It's maybe need some oil, a little step away, a little love from a distance. You feel me? Maybe I need a little alone time to talk this through with somebody. You feel me? I understand. We can understand deeper how to break this or to use this moon square Pluto to our benefit, but we're gonna keep going because it's 18 minutes. Whole time. So the two opposites, okay? So if we question the freedom ideals, but also maybe the awareness of what freedom means, you feel me? So let's think about why this happens, okay? Survival. What does survival look like? For us, we are so thankful and we are so very grateful for the ones who have came before us, right? The ones who have truly set the tone, who gave us the traditions that we have, right? So because of that, because of what they've been through, we can now use previous resources as, them, the resources is them. Whatever happened, all that wisdom that was left for me, we gonna take it, put it in my pocket. We on our, all right, make sure you get that game. You feel me? When they be having games and be like, don't forget you got this in your book bag. It's like, oh, do y'all didn't even know we got this Scooby-Doo snack that we can eat when we get hungry. Like, you feel me? We can use our previous resources to our benefit. So, it's growing up wounds. The wounds of growing up. And that could just be with maybe a lot of siblings. Maybe there are a lot of people within the house. Maybe there were people, living together. Maybe I'm unsure. I don't really know why, but I'm telling us what we can do to finesse it because I haven't really looked too deep in the chart. I really truly haven't. But you all, we can finesse it by realizing that there's growing up wounds. And growing up wounds look very similar and different. Very similar, like, oh, I went through this, and oh wow, you went through that too. Wow, that's really interesting. And I went through that as a kid, and you go through that as a kid. It was like a 30-year difference. Okay, things like that. But it's also just not being seen and validated as an individual because of the parent. And maybe the parent was going through a lot. Maybe the parent, it was a lot to be a parent, understand emotional connection to themselves, to be able to give that to the children. So because of this different viewpoints of parenting, maybe the different viewpoints of growing, and what people had to do to survive, to keep the family safe, to keep the family nourished, to give the family basic needs, right? So because of all of this understanding, as we look back, we can see that some things weren't given to us the way that we need, right? But from this, we can say like, oh, but what do we gain? And what do we need? And how can we give ourselves what we need? That's how we're going to finesse this, is seeing what our needs are, to start to slowly give it to ourselves. And yes, it's anger that goes along with this. Yes, it's jealousy that goes along with this. Yes, it's envy that goes along with this. But maybe we need to realize what these feelings are, that isn't the yearly reading talk about getting to know your emotions, to understand the roots cause of them, to understand transmutation of emotions. Maybe that I'm really feeling sad. That's probably why I'm feeling angry. When we get to the realizations of things, it can allow us to be more compassionate of ourselves, but also others. All right, so that's how we're going to finesse it. Okay, so the whole time, remember, our focus is on security and recognition. Also, how did your parents, I'm just sorry to go back. Let's talk about how your parents assisted you growing up and growing your awareness to yourself. How did your parents grow their awareness to themselves? How do they grow their awareness to themselves right now? How do they dress? What type of music did they listen to? What was their long-term goals? What do they want to be when they grow up? What was their perspectives on life? We know that we picked up a lot of that from them, right? That's our caretakers. We were a sponge in those environments. We soaked up all those things. So because we soaked up all those things, we use those values, those as our toolbox. When we got our book bag on, we're going down to school. That's our toolbox. We are prepared for life because of that. But what did you learn from life because of that? You use that and you experience different things, right? Some setbacks, some running in front of everybody else, right? But because of these many lessons, these many experiences, they nonetheless gave us tools and resources for life, right? Allowed us to grow our own personal luxuries, allowed us to grow our own relationship to money, our own relationship to security, our own relationship to ourselves. What did you see? And how are you going to use it to your benefit? How do you relate to yourself right now? How do you relate to yourself right now? What does that even mean to relate to yourself? All right, so whole time, let's get into it. Who is the chart ruler? Who rules Sagittarius? Right answers only. Did someone say Jupiter? Jupiter it is. Jupiter. So Jupiter is once again highlighted, you all. I got y'all. Well, where is the highlighted? Okay, that's just in it. Okay, boom. Jupiter, and it's in the what? The 5th house. Excellent. All right, so let's see. This is Aries. All right, so it goes Chiron conjunct Jupiter. It's not really a conjunct. Does that say 24? Oh, yeah, that is a conjunct. My bad. Why that? Oh, sorry. That is a conjunct. Okay. Conjunct, conjunct, conjunct. Everybody's conjunct, okay? It's a whole party there. It's a whole party there. So since we know it's a party there, we need to know who's all invited, right? All right, excellent. All right, so first things first, this Chiron conjunct Jupiter. Chiron conjunct Jupiter, we just said in the new moon video, Chiron is a key nonetheless. The plentiful resources, practical sense, practical sense, practical sense. How are you going to use them to your benefit? What does it mean? This is also, once again, talks about the growing up wounds, talks about familial wounds. It also might talk about sibling wounds growing up, and also how siblings were communicating with parents. Maybe how siblings dressed, the different viewpoints about siblings. How is your relationship to your sibling? Especially, okay. What's your relationship to each sibling? What was your relationship to your sibling as a child? What's your relationship to your sibling right now? What is sibling relationships like in your family? You all, our family is very resourceful, huh? A little bashful, a little bashful. We need to be very, yeah. We need to be very mindful when we continue to grow up to not be so fixated only about ourselves. There is a wound on the identity. And I'm thinking it's just the many different awareness of fulfillments. Long term, accomplishing the goal of the identity. And 24, yeah. It's a continuous and changing facet. Mm, mm, mm. This is silently also not being afraid to step out and be oneself within the group, within the family, have different values from the family. Who makes you feel nourished? Who makes you, how does your family validate you or recognize you? How do you communicate? What's the relationships like in our families? What are the relationships like as they get older, as the adults get older? What's the relationships like in the family? Have you noticed? I want us to pay attention to that. Also, because we talk about that ego thing, there could be a minimal infatuated with self and own purpose and one's own purpose. So we need to be very mindful about that, right? What's the ICN? Because that's giving IC. Did I not put Midhaven on here? Like I thought. Yeah, for real. Like, we need to think about the team player. We also need to think about how values have shaped us. And our own values. What are our own values? We need to give a shout out to Heteru vibes. For real, for real. For real. Devotion of self. I like this. I liked it a lot. You all wanted to pick up doing family genealogy. Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. This is really raising our confidence, to be honest. This solar eclipse is going to assist with raising our confidence with that practical sense that we were just talking about, putting the work in. That's going to raise the confidence as well. As well, it's also going to allow us to be aware of our conscious changing of ourselves. It's going to keep us looking youthful perspective. Oh yeah. We need to be very mindful about the people who we are flirting with. Make sure that their values are matched with ours. Not matched with us, but check their values out, check their desires out. Okay, dokie. So we did all of that. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, we can totally eat this. Well, oh yeah, we can totally eat this if we're aware of it like that. Most definitely. Be very mindful of our subconscious, how we really feel, like our thoughts, our own personal desires, our hidden motives, our own desires, like, our own habits and our own hobbies. Think before we react, think before we engage. Who's really talking to us, and we need to really pay attention and listen what people are saying. Use your intuitive nudges. How are we growing our relationship to our intuition? What does it mean to trust your intuition or to trust yourself? What does trust look like to you? Who do you trust? And what does it mean to trust someone? What does it mean to believe in someone or something? This kind of makes me think about low key when Wendy, I think that's her name in Peter Pan. She was like, her memory was fading, or maybe it was that little guy. What's that little guy called? Peter Pan. He was fading or somebody. She was like, "Oh my God, you're not believing. You're not believing." Perceiving, communicating values. How much do you believe in your own values? How much do you continuously believe in the growth of yourself? What do you believe in? How do you show that you believe in something? Through devotion, right? Through continuous practice, growth, understanding, like attainment, right? I secretly want to ask you all who are pregnant, of course, did you all just find out that you're pregnant? Or maybe just found out that you are about 3, 5, 6 weeks pregnant? Congratulations. Congratulations, you all. I am so proud of you all and your blessing. Indeed. Oh my goodness. What is parenting going to look like for you in the long term? What is that going to look like for you long term? What do you think about? What do you need? I want us to think about this at the beginning and at the end as well. At the hospital, the birth, who's going to be there? Who's going to, what type of help do you think that you need? I want us to start thinking about that right now, okay? So we can get all that early, or more so pre-planned, so we can, if anything ever comes up. I also need us to uptake our water and to eat more full meals, and I'm more so talking about greens, okay? But I'm not a doctor as well, so make sure you talk about this with your doctor. Yeah, we also probably need to up our intake on rest and be very mindful of what we're listening to. So maybe audiobooks, I don't know. Allow people to help you, okay? Be open about what you need and what you don't need. Also enjoy this experience and pay attention to your emotions. your dreams, and the different feelings that you're paying, like that you feel okay. Oh, this is so beautiful. Congratulations. Okie dokies. So since we talked about, what's the Neptune at? 30, just 30 degrees. Okay, never mind. Okay, you all. So there was a moon. That's what I thought. Oh wait, that would have to be. That had to be Black Moon Love. Okay, that's what it is. It's damn near opposite. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, you all. Okay. So whole time we have a Black Moon Lilith, or is it Cersei's? Oh, this is Cersei's. I don't really talk about that. I thought it was Sesquit. Okay. Well, it's okay. All right, y'all. The last thing I just genuinely want us to bring up is that communicating directly and expressing our emotions or the different layers of life will be very influential and helpful for us. Okay. So this new moon, what we're gonna do? We're gonna be sitting back. We're gonna be thinking. We're gonna be reflecting. We're gonna be looking at ourselves. We're gonna be looking at our hobbies. We're gonna see how far we've came. Right. We're gonna be looking at the things that we want to be doing next. We're gonna be looking at our lineage and the different layers for them, the different levels of survival for them, and how they survived. Right. We're gonna be looking at our community, what our resources are. What do we need in our community? What do you need in your community? You need a laundromat, you need some banks, you need some transportation, you need some grocery stores, you need things that's open late at night that you can eat that's healthy, right? You need to have clothes and gas stations. So this is a time of thinking of what we need. I need us to be very mindful about headaches, reacting emotionally, growing up wounds. Be very mindful what people are saying. Be very mindful what people are saying. Be very mindful what people are saying. Be very mindful of just jumping out and having relationships with people. I need us to think before engaging. Think before engaging. Think before engaging, okay? Is there anything else I wrote? Y'all, that was a really good reading. Okay, let's do playing card. All right. What is the solar eclipse message? There also, if there's, what is it called? When you're driving, we need to be very mindful about driving because there is, it's sporadic. People are just driving really fast and other people are just driving like really slow. So because things are on many different layers, many different facets, we need to be very mindful of moving slow, especially when driving, especially when eating, how fast we're eating. We need to be eating slow. Be very mindful of how people are walking or just jumping out into the street. What's this? Aquarius. We need to be very mindful of pipes bursting. Electrical fires, car fires. We need to be very mindful of COVID. We need to be wearing our masks. We need to up some sleep and be very mindful about our rest. If we need to do some stretches. If you have been like having trouble sleeping, do some stretches before you go to bed. Especially your like your lower back, your like, you know, get them deep stretches, your skeletal system stretched down. Open your legs up, stretch that way, stretch that way. But especially that lower back, that spine, get deep stretches like that. Also, start thinking about like setting a bedtime routine. Okay. Yeah. Give yourself the security and recognition for the growth of yourself. Long term and short term. King of Diamonds. Let's talk about it. Oh wait, that's it. Seven of Clubs. I like it. We was just talking about this for community, not community, other people's values. Is it windy, girl? I like this, but it kind of talks about the same thing about how we're not, like previously seeing that the use of traditions. Previously seeing the use of traditions. Also, be very mindful about this or that behavior. Think about the same and the different between both subjects. What's a need? Why is it useful? We go to freebie. What's your current need? Why is it useful? Plus important. This eats. This eats also talk about the being able to use the judgment of the previous predecessors. Dog. This is also seeing like things that happened previously been known. Engagements, words, histories, oral histories, habits. Can you clarify the Seven of Clubs upright? Ooh. Yeah, but it may seem a little boring to you at first. But this is sound advice. This is really sound advice, to be honest. You might be a little like hesitant about it. Oh, not engaged about it. But we should be open to it. Why do we turn our head away to something that we might could listen to that might be the answer to what we're asking for? This is also talking about using energy wisely and in a realization or like a clarity moment. You know, when clarity comes, it's a double-edged sword. But it allows us to review our own security and our own foundations. And our own foundations to see if things are stable. And then also to teach ourselves how to ground ourselves with the new perspectives, right? So we won't be looking away from the Seven of Clubs, so we're looking at it. The back of the diamond is the Seven of Hearts. Oh, I'm sorry, you all. Well, Seven of Clubs is here as well. I like it. I like it. Oh, we need to be very mindful about our engagements with alcohol, hallucinating. Wow. Yeah, most definitely. We need to be very mindful about that, especially on the process of feeling like we're going through something like hard times continuously add up. To that very moment, I want us to realize our own personal strength, our own connection to ourselves, and our own growth of ourselves, and to see how far we come. So when we feel in that mindset of like wanting to give up, see how far you came. Take a step back. Use your energy wisely. Things that may be moving very quickly. And I was telling you, maybe you need to slow down a little bit to regain your stamina, or maybe to reanalyze your stamina, what you can and cannot do. We need to also be very mindful about our maintenance within our body, our engagement of our body, and the type of energy that we're putting in within ourselves and with other people. Yeah. Be very mindful of what you share with other people. Mm-hmm. Seriously. This eats. This eats a lot. Oh yeah, this eats. We need to be very mindful of how our body communicates for real. Also, how our mind. We have a lot of like thoughts. It might be anxiousness in the mind, anxiousness within the body. We need to be thinking about ways of like habitually setting, what is it called, schedules to calm and relax ourselves. Slow moments of like breaks. Okay. Yeah, this eats. It's a stepping process. We need to. How do we feel about ourselves? How is our self consciousness? I know not that. Our self esteem. How do we feel about ourselves right now? How's our money? Also, our relationship to money. We need to be very mindful about overspending or overeating, and how our minds and our thoughts can impact how we see ourselves, the growth of ourselves. It can it can kind of keep us in situations as well. Our mindset. Okay, what's the remedy to the seventh of clubs? Jack of clubs. Ooh, Queen of spades. Ooh, analytical meets awareness to inner consciousness, growing to your body. I like that. Growing desires, growing stability. Ooh, I like that a lot. We need to grow our sexual connection to ourselves, our sensuality. What does that mean to be sensual? What does that mean to awaken your inner fire? What's something that you want to try? How do you view your body? How do you engage with your body? What about how do you speak about your body? How do you speak about yourself? How do you speak to your children? Oh, yeah, I was waiting on this card to come out. Oh my God, this is my favorite card. This is my favorite card because we were saying how the remedy would be reflecting, looking at yourself in the mirror. This is looking at yourself. This is looking at the growth of yourself. This is also talks about ancestral veneration. Is this a moon? It is. It's a moon Neptune here. We were just talking about how I thought it was going to be a moon Neptune, but it's a moon Neptune here. The moon Neptune, it has to be a square or a set square right. It's 137 degree, I believe. And it's not the moon, it's black moon love, I believe. But with this, it's a hesitancy, and the hesitancy is just like unaware. And that's that, need to grow awareness to what's really going on, so I can grow awareness to what's really going on. Using previous resources to your benefit, that's growing your awareness to your money, financial blessings. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. Yeah, it goes 10 to 9. We gotta go back. We gotta go back to devise a plan to make sure that it lines up currently. You feel me? What if we go on an old plan that don't even line up to us? Oh yeah, I want to be a teacher, but girl, you in school to become a doctor. What? That business plan does not align. Go back to the drawing board, bro. By this time next year, bro, I promise you. Let's look at yourself. Let's look at your lineage. As a child and as an adult. What goes on? What do you see? What's the family like? You feel me? What's the family values? What's this? 9. 9 plus 10 is 19. 19 diamonds is only 13 diamonds. After 13 diamonds, that would be 6. 6 of spades. 6 of spades is what? After a bad situation. Not really after a bad situation. You know, picking yourself up and keep moving. Picking yourself up and keep moving. Just keep on moving. Don't stop. Yes, come on, create art. That's that moon Neptune. Let's talk about it. Nourish your temple. Flow like water. Build strength. Connect with crystals. The grounding aspect of yourself. What crystals did we say? This also looks like amethyst and lapis lazuli. So we need to think about that in quartz. Amethyst, lapis lazuli, and quartz. Okay. Build strength. We were just talking about how's your relationship with your intuition. What does it mean to build intuition strength? How can we build our intuition strength? Maybe this looks like trusting yourself. How do you trust yourself? How do you trust yourself? You say you're gonna do something. Do you keep your word to yourself? Yeah, this is a really good time. We just talk an astrology reading. Yeah, you all need to really watch that new moon in Aries video. All right, it goes nourish your temple. Be very mindful of how you engage with your temple, engage with your body, how your body communicates with you, especially through the many environments. Start paying attention to that over the next 30 days. Pay attention to that. The next one is flow like water. That means probably going against the tide. We was already saying how the different fulfillments one may be afraid to go against the tide. But what does it mean? You might be growing your awareness to strength. You might be finding new avenues that wasn't, previously experienced, or you might just be building a path that was really meant for you, right? Okay, I like this. But then also, how's your water intake? How's your poop intake? What is your poop? How's that been? How has your dreams been? How has your thoughts been? Have you been thinking about your thoughts? Have you been, thinking about your emotions? Have you been traveling and expanding your awareness of your emotions? The next one is build strength, you all. What does it mean to build strength within your body? What does it mean to build strength within your mind? What does it mean to build strength within your muscles? What does it mean to build strength within your body? Why is that important? How is our immune system? The last one is connect with crystals. When was the last time we got some sunlight? When was the last time we got some sunlight? When was the last time we calmed down and sat with ourselves or sat with the ground? What are some things that ground you? How do you return to yourself and to center? What nourishes you to be able to make you calm down and return to center? All right, you all. I'm going to do 2 more decks and then we're going to get up out of here. So we're going to do a affirmation deck, of course. But I missed the Cycle Tarot and I low-key been seeing it. So let's get it. Y'all, let's talk about a 7. And it says, stand your ground, y'all. Tell me this about the 7 of clubs. Come on, all praises be to Ra. Let's talk about that sun, that moon. Come on, this is literally the eclipse right here, you all. That's the sun, that's the moon, and that's the space between the earth and the moon and the sun. Bro, what is the message? Conflict and defeat. Yeah, you gotta return into center. nourish myself. Okay, y'all. What is okay? Break the deck down. Okay. I love you all. It talks about foundations and achievement. Yeah, we talking about that family. Okay, and it's four. Four of diamonds, sideways, four of hearts, upright. Back of the deck, sacral chakra. Okay, this genuinely can't. Okay, yeah, that's that temptation. We need to be very mindful about that. Seriously. Oh my goodness, you all, this is literally the story. Oh my goodness, talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come on, it literally says hope, patience, and temptation. Be very mindful about that. Overcoming situations, also people coming up to us, being infatuated. Okay. Okay. I love it. 4 and 2. All right, last but not least, let's get it so we can go. I love you all. This is a wonderful message. What is the affirmations cards that is going to assist us for this solar eclipse cycle? In the revolution, yes, Bob Marley says that. Okay, you want anything else to talk about? Are we all good? Okay. Back of the deck is sideways and it says, the point of power is always in the present moment. Okie dokies. The cards, I'm only going to read the top part. It says, all my relationships are harmonious. Sidestep. I am safe in its only change. Upright. And I am totally adequate for all situations. Front of the deck, sideways. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. I love you all. Happy solar eclipse.